You should not take your legal lessons from Hollywood movies any more than you should take your history lessons from Hollywood movies. Now, when I say this, everybody nods in agreement and says, yeah, obviously. And yet, people think in terms of Hollywood movies when it comes to justice. They imagine that it is clear who has done it, and all that remains is for Colombo to find a way to prove it and get his men. Actually, in reality, there are innocent people in jail. Not many, probably, but still, some studies suggest that 1 in 20 of those who have been sentenced to death in the United States are innocent. And remember, death sentencing is the most careful of all procedures. When it comes to lesser sentences, the safeguards and the care is nowhere near so great, which tells me that probably more than 1 in 20 of those who are in jail are innocent. At least innocent for what they have been charged with. Anyway, I've been a lawyer for 17 years, and I can tell you, real life is messy. I wish it wasn't, but it is. And here's a paradox. The more I gathered experience, the more you would expect that I would know what will happen. And yet, it was often the opposite. Because when I was studying law, everything seemed logical. Everything seemed the way it should be. And the more I practiced it, the more I realized, the more I encountered absurd, unexpected turns, the more I realized that the outcome of a case could hang on some chance events. Let me give you an example. So I had this case, which, by the way, later I went to Strasbourg before the European Court of Human Rights. That's Tancheva versus Bulgaria, and the case was won. But the case started as a labor dispute. So my client was Ms. Tancheva. She was fired, and I filed a legal claim on her behalf. And instead of getting eventually a summons for the date of the court session, I got a notification that the case is over. So I went to the court, opened the case folder, and guess what? It turns out that the summons for the court session has never been handed to me, or to anybody else for that matter, because according to the official who serves these summons, at the address I've given, there is no building. And actually there was a building, a very large building, 7 stories high, and full of government institutions, for that matter. This is where my office was situated, in the center of Sofia. So I gathered proof that there is a building, documents from some of the government institutions situated there, but I had to appeal, and an appeal costs money, and an appeal also costs another year, plus other problems. So this is just an example of how many things can go wrong. Evidence could, and the same, by the way, applies. I'm giving an example with a civil case, but the same applies to penal cases as well. So evidence may not be gathered, or may be gathered in the wrong way, or may be lost, or the judge may overlook it, or the lawyer may not think of some angle. I mean, so many things, or the law may change. Meanwhile, the procedures may change, or the police could plant evidence, or lie in their reports. I mean, everything is possible. Again, real life is messy. So, as much as you believe that you see through the Hollywood bullshit, trust me, you don't. Your way of thinking is formed by Hollywood.